On a mission for some more interesting B-roll, here's a little intro from running in the woods. Have a little look around. Beautiful way to start the day. Welcome to the video, everyone. Mrs. Richards, not so interested in talking this morning. But there you go, give us some love.
I think we're on, I think we're filming, I think we're ready for video 2. Welcome back, everyone. So, little recap. If you haven't watched video 1, go back and watch video 1. Why would you watch video 2 if you've not watched video 1? Makes no sense. But this is where we are so far. We've got our epoxy resin cap. I'll show you in a bit more detail how to make these on the Pink Jazzy build. You can go and watch number 1 of that. Number 1, bit of logic up there for thinking.
You're a smart motherfucker, that's right.
So what have we got? We've got our knackered telly body that we're using. I've discussed this previously. Bit of poplar, I think. So now what I need to do is basically route out the first section this deep, which is that many milli inches. We're going to route it out so that this will live in the body. I'll show you what I mean. So you remember I introduced you to Master Templates? We can pop that one out. Just for effect. Now I've got that in position. We'll permanent pen everything on. I'm going to change the shape of this body a little bit just to suit it. Now I've got that on there, I can tape this bad boy on and we can router it. Piece of cake, easy. Let's get that done. That was a lot of routering, wasn't it? Okie dokie then. That's that done. I've gone nice and deep because I had to, because it's the only router bit I had. But that's all good. I'm happy with that. I know it's going to fit because we've made beautiful templates. If you've got an interesting build that you want me to build, get hold of me on Instagram. Let's get our template, which, like an idiot, I've hung up on the wall. Seconds. Like an idiot. I've hung up on the wall, thinking I won't need them. Yes, I will need them. And yes, watching a bit of Linus Tech Tips in the background. No! Back to the job in hand. All I'm going to use this for, this little gem, pretty shit template to be honest, but yeah, from online. All I'm going to do with this very quickly is mark the position of the through holes for my bridge. That's all I need for the minute. So I am just going to mark up my epoxy very lightly with them. Just going to make sure I can see that and I can see that. I've got 2 very slight dings in there. Lovely. Now, from the tray of goodies, I've got my bridge, Wilkinson bridge, very standard stuff. So we can mark that on the top. So that bit has to stay where it is. Change of plan. We're having a change of plan. Do I make a whole piece of this removable? Or do I just do rear access and set it in? What do you think? It would be nice to have the whole top cap uninterrupted. No screws, no nothing. Just our control pots and our pickups. Still going to use the telly bridge because I think that looks cool. It's telly. It's going to be good, isn't it? It's going to be good. So yeah, I'm going to do rear access. Like we did on the Pink Jazzy thing. We'll do rear access, but in this instance, it's only actually going to be for the neck pickup and the pots. Yeah, it's like the only bit of thinking that this whole build needs. And it's making me think, but that's it. That's what we're going with. I'm going for rear access because the rear access for this is tiny. It's hardly anything. That's not going to compromise anything having that slot in the back. Although someone will comment, oh, I'm not sure about the stability of that guitar. Don't throw it down the fucking stairs then, mate. Yes, that's the plan. Right, so let's get this little bit repaired. Chisel! Right, camera malfunctions. We're back in the room. Here we go. Bloody cameras. They don't like being warm, but I do, so the heating's on. So we've got a cheeky little repair here, which you can see. Didn't have any poplar, used a bit of cherry. No one will ever know. Sand it, paint it, love it. I know where my routes are going. We've decided that I'm going to go rear. I've changed my mind. We're going to go rear access. I'd rather have holes in the back than in the front. I think that makes sense to me. So that means we can glue this in. Hey, that's an exciting time, isn't it? So let's get out the tight bond and get busy. Plenty up the sides here, plenty up the sides. And here we go. Ah. Lovely, few clamps. That'll do. Off she goes. Come back to this a bit later. Phase 2. When I go through my plans, their ideas, they're not set in stone. And already we've had a change. We've had a couple of changes. I'm doing the body different. And now I've decided there's something I want to do on the neck. A couple of things actually, so stay with me. I'm not going to go with a telly headstock because I prefer mine. So that's executive decision number 1. The other one is, if I do things for the first time, sometimes they're a bit of a pain in the ass to edit because I've got to think, I've got to go home with hours of footage of me just going, oh, I don't know how to do it. First things first, carbon in necks is, I think, largely a waste of time.
Boy, here we go.
Any Fender you ever buy has not got carbon in the neck. Gibsons don't put carbon in the neck. That's the 2 biggest boys, they don't do it. So I'm going to not do that on this one. Hate me if you want, comment below, don't care. We've all got ideas, and if you don't like it, build your own guitar. So one of my favourite aspects of Fenders is the one-piece neck with a skunk stripe. I've never done that. You've got to do things in a slightly different order. That's fine, I can do that. So that is what I'm going to do. One-piece neck with a skunk stripe. Still going with the roasted maple, going with my headstock, the Richards Custom Guitars headstock, and a bit of walnut for a skunk stripe. Piece of
My piss.
Exactly. So I'm going to get this down to 26 millimeters. 26 mil, inch and a bit. First thing I'm going to do is take this over to the joiner because it's been sat around for a while and there's a little bit of a rock in him. I'm going to get it dead flat on one side. I'm then going to flip it over, get rid of the most of it, and then to get it completely parallel, I'll pop it through the sander. I would go through the thicknesser, but that gives me a bit of snipe. And because I've already cut this to size, I don't want any snipe. So we'll use the sander and a bit more time. Back in the room. So I've got my bit of granite here, which is dead flat. Clamped to the bench, everything dead flat. Perfectly parallel, 26 mil. Lovely. That's a very important start. Next thing I need to do, now I've got that bit done, is get this neck shaped to my headstock shape. I'm just going to draw around that, cut away the worst, and then we'll get over. In fact, I can't router it yet because my new router is arriving in the post in about half an hour.
Hi mate, you alright? Beautiful. How's that one, alright?
Cheers, my lover.
Nice one. Cheers, mate.
There we go, there's my headstock shape. I'm just going to bosh the worst of that off on the bandsaw. There we go. We're approximately cut to size. That's all I've got time for today. I'm shooting off. But when I come back, which will be in about 2 seconds for you, Right, on to stage 2. When you start building guitars for yourself, and don't think that I'm some master luthier who's been doing this for years, I'm doing it less than 5 years. I'm a carpenter for a long, long time, but building guitars is relatively new for me. And I learned how to make a Fender neck because I like Fender guitars over other varieties. And you kind of get stuck in a rut. So we're going one-piece neck with a skunk stripe because I think that's sexy. And the only difference is I'm going for a spoke wheel truss rod because I also love that look. There's a few different orders of doing this. I'm going to use my template and cut my neck out. Get it all routed nicely and profiled. That's great. Then I think I am going to flip it over, put it in my jig and router out from the bottom for my spoke wheel truss rod. And I've just got these from Stu Mac. There's a bit of depth to them, but I think that's going to work nicely. It's going to look marvellous. Router that from underneath, I'm going to leave this approximately 6mm from the top surface. So we're doing everything a little bit in reverse. I'm doing it for the first time. It's going to be a pain in the ass to edit, but I'm going to do it because I actually really like one-piece necks. I think there's a lot to be said for a one-piece neck. What did I say I was going to do first? Template. Shall we router? New router. Woohoo! That was messy. I think I need to transfer this template into plastic because this is my headstock and I like it. There we go. Tiny bit of chatter, but I can live with that. That's all good. Tiny bit of chatter. I'm gonna have to adapt the jig that I've only just made for the other style of neck. All right then, so different angle. Everyone's familiar with my little box of love that I use for routing channels in necks. I've had to make a new little top because we've got to do things in reverse. If you want to know how to build these or build your own, flick back through some of my old videos because I think I covered it in one of them. Here's me neck. It's going in there. We've got some centre lines on there. We can line all of them up. Now before I fix it in place, I'm just going to double check that that is also in line with me cheeky top. And it is pretty good. Can you see those lines? See those lines? The lines are aligning. There you go. That ain't going nowhere. So now when I pop that one on, we're all nicely lined up. This all feels a bit weird doing it this way, but I like it. I like weird. So does Mrs. Richards, thank God. I do. You want to take a card? Take a card. That's that. Stop being funny, Paul. No one cares. There is our neck. That giant channel cutting that look. Woo! Very weird way of doing this. Let's not get too caught up in the strangeness. I need a special wall for my jigs. There's so many of the bloody things. Out comes disused bath mat, on goes neck. And naturally I have to enlarge this end to get my bulbous end in. We have to ream him out.
Nice beaver.
So do I risk, if I put a drill bit in there, it's just gonna pull in and it's gonna go insane. So that's what I'm gonna do. 8mm drill bit. This could go horribly wrong. In there. Speed 1, let's not get carried away. And incidentally, this means that the truss rod is removable after the fact. That's unusual, isn't it? Don't know if I'm doing this right, but we're doing it anyway. Away go the drill bits. Right, so now I've got my lovely slug of walnut. That is very, very snug. So I think we're just gonna have to glue it up and pop it in. In she goes. If anyone else does this a different way, feel free to let me know. But say it constructively, don't be an asshole. Well, I think that's all I can do for that, isn't it? Just gotta let that dry. I'm gonna watch some more videos on how people do it this way. I should have really done a bit more homework. But for the minute, I mean, that's gonna work. We'll let that dry. We'll chop it off. We'll sand it and all the rest of it. And we'll go from there. We'll conclude this video by sanding this nice and flush because it's a little bit wonky. And we'll see what that comes up like, all right? It's a lovely pattern, isn't it? Once this is all matte black, delightful. Let's get on the surface. Let's destroy me thickness sander now because this clogs up the sandpaper and it's a pain in the ass. But you can't use the planer because it eats it.
"75 years later."
There you go. So I've given this a bit of a sand. You can see just how tight an inlay you can achieve using these methods, and it's pretty good. You get it pretty tight. Have a close up, I dare you. You can see me dodgy repair, we'll cover all that. I'm unsure for the minute whether I'm gonna spray this with a hard edge or whether to spray it with a burst and then go over the top with clear. Rattle cans and clear, not my strong point. I'm more of a natural finish guy, but I think this might look nice with a black burst. And if anything goes wrong, I'll just sand it off. It doesn't really matter, does it? Might look horrendous. I'm going to do a bit of neck and a bit of body in every video. I think that's how it's going to work out because I need to compute. So next video, I'll come back, I'll tidy up this skunk stripe, cut my fret slots, we'll scallop the head and profile the top. That's not a bad shout, is it? I'll do everything to the top that I need to do of this neck. And also on this one, once I've got those marked out, I can actually use that and we can cut out our neck pocket and we can figure out where everything's going on the body. So I think that's a good plan, isn't it? We can get somewhere, put some radiuses on, do a bit of carving, and we'll bring it all together as one unit. That's the plan. So thanks for watching again. That's video 2. I'm going to try and sew this up in 4 videos. It might be 5. It definitely won't be 6. I don't bloody know. And I hope you can reward that with a subscription. Creepy. I hope I've earned your subscription today by the end of this video. That was a shit impression. Sorry, Chris. Love Highline. Love it. Anyway, that's enough. See you later. Bye.